So vector multiplication. So there are two types of multiplication. One is scalar multiplication, another one is vector multiplication. So if there are two vectors, say A and B. So scalar multiplication is A dot V vector is equals to AB cos alpha. Alpha is the angle between these two vectors, and this A and B is the magnitude of these two vectors. And vector multiplication is nothing but A cross B is equals to AB and sine alpha. Right? By using this equations, we could solve some problem like when two vectors are perpendicular or when two vectors are parallel. These types of problem we can solve. Now let's consider a vector, say A is equals to 4i plus 5j plus 6k. Another one, B is equals to 2i plus 6j plus 7k. Now, how to solve the A dot B? It means we have to multiply these two vectors, right? Indeed, we have to have some idea or maybe some equation. We have to memorize that I dot I is equals to 1. Of course, there is an explanation. I will explain in my next video. And I dot j is equals to 0. It means similar unit vector is equals to 1 and the opposite is equals to 90. Of course, there is an explanation. I'll explain it in my next video, of course. So A multiply with B. It means here A have 3 coefficient included its unit vector and here as well. So it will be 9 product, right? But I dot I will be 1. So we'll get 8 plus. So 5 times 6 is 30 plus 6 times 7 is 42. And of course, k dot k is equals to 1, z dot z is equals to 1, I dot I is equals to 1. And rest of the things, it means I dot j, I dot k, or I dot j, or I dot k, this will be 0. That's why I'm not writing here. So we'll have a certain value here, right? Here, so the value is 82, right? Now, if the question asked the angle between the vector A and B. So we know the scalar product A dot B is equals to AB, and here will be cos alpha. So we have to calculate the value of alpha. Indeed, we also have to calculate the value of A and B. A and B is nothing but the magnitude. So A is equals to square root of 4 square, the coefficient of the vector A, and then 5 square, and again 6 square. So we already have got the magnitude of A, which is 77, and same way we could calculate the value of B as well, 2 square plus 6 square and 7 square. So altogether we'll have square root of 89. Now, what we have to calculate? We have to calculate the value of alpha, right? Indeed, cos alpha is equals to a vector dot b vector over ab. So here we could write down the value of a vector dot b vector is 82 over square root of 77 and square root of 89. So we could calculate the value of alpha. So cos will be here, cos inverse this value. If we calculate by the using a calculator, scientific calculator, of course, we'll have the value about 7.8 degree. Now, if there are two vectors, say assume a is equals to 2i plus 3j minus 6k, same as we have the vector is equals to, let's say, mi plus 2j plus 10k. So we'll have this two problems we could solve. At the same time, we could solve as well the value of m. Say in this type of problem or sort of problem might be given a condition like when two vectors are perpendicular, and obviously the two vectors are a and b, and this is a vector and this is b vector, then find out the value of m. So we'll use the very first condition, that they are perpendicular. It means in between angle is 90 degree, right? So which one we have to use? Like a dot b is equals to ab cos alpha, or maybe a cross b is equals to ab sin alpha, right? So if plug in the value of 90 here, so cos 90 is equals to 0, right? So this will become 0. So a dot b is equals to 0 because cos 90 is equals to 0, so it will become 0, right? So what will be the value of a dot b? So we could multiply 2 with m because I dot I is 1, so it will be 2m plus 6 minus 60 is equals to 0, and obviously I dot say or I dot k will be 0. That's why we have these three terms. So here we could write down the value of m is equals to, so this will be 60 minus 6 over 2, so it will be 27, right? But if we are going to use this equation, so there will be a trouble. Why? Because if we plug in the value of 90 here, so it will become 1, right? So a cos b is equals to ab. So that will be a difficulties, right? Because here we'll have an equation like this, or maybe different, obviously, because this is a cos b, the product will be different compared to this one. And obviously a dot b will also have an equation, because here one variable is missing. Instead of one coefficient is missing. Instead of that coefficient, one variable m is here, or maybe some other thing is here, so there will be another equation. So by solving this will be more hectic. Rather, we are using this when it's perpendicular. But if it is saying these two vectors are parallel, then how we can solve the problem? So the condition said, we have to solve this problem like when the two vectors are parallel. It means alpha is equals to 0 degree, right? Indeed, if you plug in the value of 0 here, then it will become 0. So this will become 0. Now we have this equation A cross B, this term, right? So what is the definition of A cross B? So it will be I dot J dot K, and obviously it is a matrix, or of course we could define this one as a determinant, so we'll have to have some value. So this is 2, this is 3, this is -6. We'll have this value from the given value of these two vectors, and here will be m, here is 2, and here is 10. By solving the determinant, we'll have an equation, and that equation is equals to 0. So we have to find out the determinant from the matrix. So here I, 3 times 10 is 30, and this will be minus plus 12, and again the minus for the rules, and of course here will be j, so this will become 20 minus plus minus plus minus minus plus, and this will be 6, and then plus k, and this will be 4 minus 3 m is equals to 0. Means this part as well as this part is equals to 0. Now equating the equation, it means 20 plus 6m is equals to 0, and of course 4 minus 3m also equals to 0. So here we could write down 6m is equals to minus 20, so m is equals to minus 20 over 6, or we can write down minus 10 over 3. Here as well we could write down 3m is equals to 4, so m equals to 4 over 3. So the final value of, therefore m is equals to 4 over 3 comma minus 10 over 3. This is the answer.